Hi, third grade. This is episode number 2 of talking about TCI lesson 7. So, hopefully, you've watched my first video and you've read the introduction and section 1. We are now moving on to meeting some of these kids in lesson 7. So, our first little kid that we are meeting, her name is Josie, and she is from Canada. Now, this isn't the part of Canada that maybe you and your family have gone to see Niagara Falls. She is from more like northern Canada. It's very remote. That means there's not a lot of tourists, not a lot of people coming here to that part of Alaska or that part of Canada. So the climate there, we know climate, it's like what the weather's like over a period of time. It's very cold, very snowy. So that is going to affect her activities and her daily life. So for example, when we actually are going to school, typically you ride on a school bus, your parents drop you off, a family member drops you off. Well, for Josie and her friends, she skis to school on like snow skis, and some of her friends actually ride a snowmobile. So I don't think I've seen any of those things parked in our Dutch Ridge parking lot. So that is definitely a difference between you and Josie, but a similarity is that you both go to school. So now that I mentioned a similarity and a difference, I just wanted to remind you that this is a Venn diagram. And as you are reading about these kids, these other students around the world, you may want to be taking notes to see, how they are different, how they are similar to what I did. I just took some notes on each child that we are learning about. All right, let's go ahead and get back to Josie. When she is at school, she has computer class. I think you guys go to computer class as well with Mr. Householder. She has reading class. She has math class. She has history class. So these are similar subjects to what you guys are also learning. Now, for her activities, since she lives in a place that is very cold, very snowy, her and her family do something called ice fishing, where they would drill a hole in the ice and they bring all of their equipment and they go fishing through the hole on the ice. She also has a dog. Maybe some of you guys have dogs. You get some extra play time with your dogs over this. She likes to play with her dog. Food. Remember how we talked about in episode 1 that culture even has to do with the food that you eat. Now, they do not live super close to a Giant Eagle or a Target or an Aldi to get food. So their families hunt, and what they hunt is a caribou, one of the things that they hunt. And a caribou is very similar to deer that we would have here. So you will be reading that they eat caribou stew. And I know you might think, that sounds so weird. But just think about like if you've ever eaten deer meat before. So it's not different for them. Clothes that she would wear, once again, since the climate is cold and snowy, she has to dress warm. Her and her family and friends, anybody that lives up there, have to dress warm. And they wear things made out of seal skin. And seal skin is extra warm. So she has seal skin boots, heavy coats, and even blankets made out of seal skin. Now, they have an activity that's called blanket toss, and you will see a picture of it on the bottom of that section in TCI. And when I look at that, it reminds me of kind of 2 games that we play here meshed together. It reminds me of if you jump on a trampoline, and it also reminds me of the parachute game that you play in gym class. So I want to hear your reactions, what you guys think about the blanket toss game at the end of the lesson with Josie. So that was our first student that we met in TCI lesson 7. We're going to go ahead in this episode and learn about one more student, and his name is Luis, and he is from Paraguay. So it's hard to see on a map, but that is in South America. Okay, remember top bunk, bottom bunk. So it's bottom bunk right around here. Now, as you can see, he is close to the equator. So that's going to change the climate a little bit. He is not going to be skiing to school. He is not going to be riding a snowmobile to school. Actually, clippity clop, Luis rides a horse to school. Once again, I have not seen any horses parked in the parking lot of Dutch Ridge. You typically do a bus or a car, some of you walk, but I have not seen a horse taking anybody to school this year. So we'll leave our little horse there for you to see. Now, let me ask, now that you've been home, how early are you guys getting up? Luis gets up before the sun rises to help his family on their farm. He has to plant seeds. He has to do a lot of work out in the farm, in the yard, before he even goes to school. So imagine if your family woke you up, it was still dark out, and you had to do work before going into school. He had to work in the fields. So he has a busy morning. After he does that, like I said, he rides his horse to school. At school, he goes to school 5 days a week. Just like you, 5 days a week. That is a similarity. Remember our Venn diagram, okay? And at school, he has like a break. So I would think that would be like our recess time, and he likes to play soccer with his friends. When he gets hot, a drink that they drink there, it's called tereré. I think that's how you say it. And it's made with water and crushed up leaves. Now, we have a drink here in America that uses crushed up leaves. And I'm going to give you a second to see if you know what it would be mixed with water. Anybody think they know? I'll tell you. It's similar to tea that we drink here in America. Now, he drinks it out of a cow horn is his cup. Does anybody have any cow horns at home that they are drinking out of? I know if I looked in my kitchen right now, there would not be any cow horns in my cupboard or my dishwasher. So he drinks out of a cow horn, and they use metal straws to drink with. But at the end of the straw is a strainer. So kind of like a netting. So when they suck up the drink, the tea leaves don't get stuck up the straw and they don't choke on them. So that is a little bit about Luis from Paraguay. So today in episode 2, we learned about Josie from Northern Canada and Luis from Paraguay. So I hope you enjoyed that. I want you to read that over with TCI. Take some notes on them because we will be doing a Venn diagram activity at the end of the week. So I hope you all are well. Keep up the good work. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.